everybody, welcome back to the channel. The other day in a video, we did a video on a whole house water filter that we adapted to fit our RV, since we are full-time RVers. Along with that, they sent us this filter, so we thought we'd shoot a little video to show you what this one's about. This is more for filtering out the hardness in the water, so it'll help you soften the water, and it filters out the heavy metals, iron remover, stuff like that. This is good for filling up, like if you're filling up a pool, like a kiddie pool, or you could do a bigger pool. This claims 100,000 gallons. I want to say for the smaller filter, I doubt that, but over the time we'll test it as we fill things. You can also fill a spa, a pool, kid pool, whatever you want to with this. Any place where you're going to want softer water that's not so hard and filtered out a little bit. You can also use this in conjunction with like their water softeners or stuff like that. They also carry a full line of that stuff if you're looking for that. Like I said, with that whole house filter, it's a bigger filter. You want to normally see those on an RV, but if you're in an RV, you're not moving around a lot, that would easily hang on the frame just like the other one we showed in the video. It would hang in that same spot, but that way you get a little more filtration out of it. Being the bigger size filters and everything, you don't have to worry about it as much. This comes with everything you're going to need to hook it up except for the hoses, right? It comes with these plastic plugs in it. These are the leak plugs, so you can put it away for when you're not using it. Just the plastic plug with the rubber O-ring. It comes with all brass fittings that go inside, and it has brass inserts in here, so they're brass to brass. Nice little carrying handle if you need that. And we have already messed with it a little bit. We have one of the brass ends in here. It also comes with the rubber washers you're going to need to put in here before you hook this up. So we're going to show you how to hook this up. It's supposed to remove all the heavy metals, especially if you're on a well, because the wells usually have more of that in it than the municipal water, but it will filter stuff out of the municipal water as you're going. Let's get one of these hooked up. When you hook these up and you put in the brass into brass, you're going to want to put thread sealer on it and put one of your rubber washers inside the hole. And you'll feel if there's like a bottom part where it bottoms out, just like any other garden hose, because it hooks up to your normal size garden hose. Then we're going to throw this in here. You can do these hand tight too. I mean, pretty good hand tight, and they'll seal. So we got that one in there. We got this one already in here, like I mentioned. That's pretty much all you need to do to hook this up besides your hoses. On top, it's going to tell you in and out. There's arrows for the direction. So your hose goes in, your water comes out. When you first hook this up, you're going to want to let it run for 2 to 3 minutes. You'll see black come out. At first, let the filter rinse. This little red button you see on top is like a bleed off valve, so it'll help get air out and stuff like that. You'll want to press those to bleed the air if you have that problem, because sometimes the air gets trapped on the top. What else do we need? That's it. So now we're going to get one end of our hose. We're going to use this hose for our out end. So make sure your rubber washer's in there. Like I said, this fits a standard 3/4 inch hose. It's supposed to treat up to 100,000 gallons. I don't know. 100,000 gallons seems like a lot for this little filter, but we'll see. We got our water supply here. What would be nice, I mean, a lot of these hoses, the part that goes in, we're not going to put the handle on. Normally you would put that on before you put your hose on so you can carry it, but if you're just setting it there somewhere and letting it run in, you want to keep it vertical when you do that, probably. But you don't need this. But if you're just going to stand there the whole time, put the handle on. One thing I would like to see, this brass fitting's in here, but the hoses on those ends don't usually spin. So something that swivels here would be nice. Otherwise, you got to twist your hose to put it in like that, so you don't get a kink in the hose. So did I have the rubber in it? I didn't check that. I think it did, but double check is always good. Nope, the rubber's not in there. See, always double check. It felt funny. Get our rubber in there. Hook this up. Then we're gonna run it in. Like remember I said, run it for 2 to 3 minutes. We already did that, but we'll show you, kind of simulate what has to happen. You will get black come out of it at first, so don't put that right into your water supply that you want to do, because you will get the black from that water supply. They give you a couple extra ones if you need the rubber hoses. So then we're going to get this turned on, and we'll show you how this comes out of here. All right, once you get it all hooked up and there's no leaks, you can just let it run. But remember, let it run somewhere else first. You just want to let all the air out, and yours will have black that comes out. We already had this running, but right there. Then you can run it into whatever you're trying to run it into. I mean, this is big pool, but technically the amount of gallons this says this can do, it's saying it can fill this pool. This would take like forever to fill this pool on something like off a garden hose. But if you're topping off your pool or filling like a kiddie pool or something, you could use this. I can also see this being used for like if you have an outside shower and you can have hard water, you could probably hook this up before your outside shower. I know on our pool we had the outside shower out there. You hook this up in line with that, and then you probably get softer water. This will help eliminate the stains you normally see with the heavy metals. You'll get the rusty colored stains or maybe even yellow colored water that's coming out of your well. The well we have here doesn't have really the yellow water, but it's not as heavy, but you might have that. This will help filter that out, it says. Besides doing this, what we're going to also do today is we're going to do a couple tests. We're going to do a hardness test on this to see, like, coming out of the hose what it is, and then coming out of here what it is. And we'll also do a chlorine test to see how much chlorine's in it, because it mentions that it filters out chlorine as well. I doubt it does all the chlorine, but probably filters out some. We'll see what the reading is before and after. So that's how this works here. Pretty easy setup. If you have the handle, you want to stay here and hold it, go ahead. But you can also just set it down and just do your thing. So that being said, let's get over here, do a couple tests on this and see if it's actually doing what it say it's doing. All right, now what we're going to do is we got 2 glasses here. We're going to put the water before the filter because we unhooked it from our filter. We're going to fill this up with what it is coming out of the tap. Like I said, here's a little better water here. So this is what we're going to do. All right, you can shut that off. And then we're going to fill this one up with filtered after we hook this back up. So give me a second here to hook this up. And then we will fill that other jar and we can get our reads. We have our chlorine test strips here with our meter. It's going to read that. Same one you use for your pool. It's just going to read the chlorine level in it because that is something it mentioned. I figured that's something we can easily test. And then also we have our water hardness test strips here. We're going to use those. All right, let's get our hose. All right, you can kick it on. All right, now we have the filtered water coming out like because we already rinsed it. Now we can fill this one up. Get all the air out there. There we go. That one's supposed to be the one through the filter. So now we're going to do the test on both of these. We'll do the test on this one first, which for this, we just dip this in, give it a shake, and we'll let it sit there for 30 seconds horizontally. This one here only takes a few seconds. You dip it in, or you dip the water, fill this with water, dip the strip in here to do it, and it'll give us the read that we need. So, oh, the sun's popping back out for us. Awesome. All right, so first we're going to test the untreated. Get our test strip. We're going to do this. We'll do this on both of them first. Since this one's only a dip, you just do this for a few seconds. It says do this, and we'll let it sit there for 30 seconds, roughly. Then we're supposed to compare it with the chart on the side of this. So we'll let that one sit. And you guys we'll give you guys a close-up. But on the side of this, there's a chart. You're supposed to match the color. You're supposed to match the color on your strip to the color on the chart to find out where your water falls in that hardness scale. So you did it before. This is the before, and this is the after the filtered. I can already see on them just so far the colors are already different. Yeah. So that's definitely makes a difference there. And then for this one, what we're going to do, we need the water out of these to test it. So we'll wait till this test is done. Then we will dip it in here, clear our meter, and do that. As I mentioned, we will keep this running for you for the full 30 seconds. We're almost there now. And then we'll bring you guys closer and show you where the numbers line up here on this chart, so you know, is it filtered out the hardness or not. So let's bring you guys closer. Keep it running the whole time. Just bring her closer right down to here. Get them a good shot. Got a good shot. All right. This is our hardness thing here. We're going to do our untreated water first, which is right here. We're going to put the strip up to it. We're about, I'd say that's close in color, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So right there, parts per million, we've got 120 parts per million. See if you guys can see that.
Yep.
So that's where we're at here. About right here on that one was that parts per million's 120, and then GPG 7, whatever that is, GPG. Okay, now we'll take the other one, and you can see this one. I'm trying to get you guys the right angle. See, for you guys, where that color lines up, it's right here at the low end. I mean, man, I'm looking at it. I know you guys can't. Maybe right there. Right near 0. In between 0 and 25 parts per million. So you can see that it definitely is filtering out that hardness of the water. So it is doing that. So that's a good thing. All right, let's set these aside. Now we're going to fill up our test meter here, and we're going to do a read for chlorine. We're going to do the untreated water first. So what we got to do is just fill this container up right there. Get you guys closer for that because you can see it in real time. Turn this on. We got it on the chlorine setting, which will be the CL that you'll see. We're going to 0 our meter. Get one of our test strips out. And then for this meter, what you got to do is put it in here and shake it around for the 20 seconds that the meter shows. And then put the lid on for the last second, and it'll do its read. So you just go back and forth. Remember, this is right out of the tap. And here at this resort, which is what we're at, they have a chlorine injection system with their well. So it will be some in that. So let's see what it does here. We got to lay it flat while it reads. Once it comes up, 2.32 parts per million. So this is, like I said, this is without it being filtered. We're going to filter because it does claim that it filters out chlorine. If that number's, it'd have to be lower than that to be true. So let's get this one rinsed out. All right, now that we have this rinsed out with the rest of that water, we're going to just pour some water in here, rinse it, fill it again. All right, now we're going to put this lid on and just 0 this out. Because remember, it was 2.32 on the just hose water. So we're going to 0 that. Well, that 0 will get us another test strip. Just one. All right, that is 0'd. You guys can see it's showing 0 right now. We're going to do that same test. We just press read, let it do it for 20 seconds. Well, 19 seconds, pull it out, last second. Just move it back and forth. See if it does take some of the chlorine out like it claims. I mean, it takes out a lot of the, I mean, it says a lot of the hard metals. All right, we'll put our lid on. I can already see the color's a little different, so it's probably doing something better. It filtered out all the chlorine. Now it says 0 on there, so it's showing no chlorine. So it's filtering out chlorine also, so that's pretty awesome. So it is doing that. It's nice to have something that says it's going to do something. Now, the other thing is, will it do it for 100,000 gallons? That's the test that's going to take a long time. So as we use this over time, we could just run water through it and find out, and then we'll find out if it's going to work later with these same kind of tests. We'll have these on record. So when we come down the road, say maybe we'll be 10,000 gallons in, we'll check it again, see if it's filtering out chlorine just as effectively, and if if it's filtering out the hardness of the water, also the heavy metals. But that's pretty good. Proof's right there, 0, same test. Well, there you have it, guys. A quick video on the H&G Lifestyles pre-filter removes the heavy metals, and also is a water softener. As you've seen, it did filter out it did make the water softer, and it did take the chlorine out of the water, which it claims to do. So if you're filling up your pool, spa, hot tub, or you're using an inline for that outside shower we mentioned, this would take care of some of that stuff. A lot of people don't like the chlorine. Yes, it's in our pools to keep it sanitized, but like if you're trying to rinse or something, that outside shower is a good idea because you can help rinse without rinsing with chlorine that you're trying to get out of. When you get your instructions in there, on the back is a 20% off code, so you can get that for the filter cartridge when you're trying to refill it after 100,000 gallons or whenever this runs out. 100,000 gallons seems like a big claim for this small of a filter, but we'll tell in the long run. We'll just keep running water through it, trying to top this off or whatever we're doing. Maybe a friend of ours is getting a new hot tub. Maybe we'll take this over and we'll fill his whole hot tub with this. So we'll take those gallons off and then test it again. But that being said, hope you found this video helpful for you guys. If you're looking to have something like this, like I said, if you're on a well water and you got that yellowish color water, This is supposed to filter that out so you don't have that heavy metals in there. Again, I mean, the lifespan of this is going to matter by how bad your well is contaminated, or your municipal water with heavy metals and things like that. Obviously here we probably get quite a bit because we're on a cleaner water, but it does take the chlorine out nicely. So that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, try something new.